and welcome back to Live from the US today with a very special guest episode today with Leth from Team Cherry. I don't know if you need an introduction. Maybe you could say a few sentences to yourself so that everybody is up with who you are.
Yeah, sure. My name is Matt Griffin. I go by Leth in the community and on Twitch, and I'm listed or credited as the marketing and PR director for Hollow Knight.
Great. Yeah, that was short, sweet, perfect. So we're going to ask Matt a few questions which you, the community, have also given to us, and we'll just see how long this all goes. And I think Mithriel's going to start out. Mithriel, you can ask your first question.
Alright, so our first question comes from Xanathar865, who asks, how many hours do you have on Hollow Knight?
Oh man. Okay, hang on. I can pull up my Steam account and look at that, but that doesn't include all the console hours and Switch and stuff.
I remember.
Put me on the spot right away.
Yeah. It's some intriguing questions, guys. Wow.
Well, Steam says I have 214.2 hours.
Wow. That's damn. That's I think 4 times as much as me. So yeah. I mean, okay. It's probably necessary a bit, but well.
Yeah, and I was also like the main Xbox tester.
Oh, you were?
I didn't get to play it that much, but yeah, nobody had an Xbox in the office.
Oof.
So they were just like, Matt, can you make sure this is working?
Okay.
And a funny story about that is so I was playing it. I got the Xbox One X, and I was getting severe lag in the game, and this was like 2 days before I was supposed to fly to Seattle and launch the game in the Microsoft live on in front of millions of people, and like I messaged him back. I was like, something's wrong. I'm getting lag when I go into the healing pool. Anywhere I go in the healing pool, like it's slowing down. And I recorded a video and sent it to another tester and got him a key. I was like, can you try? And he's like, I'm not seeing that. And it turns out that my TV had been set in a power saving mode. So my TV was lagging, not the games. So it just, oh my god, you know how you could change your settings in your TV from vibrant to game to sport to blah blah, it's different settings. Well, one of them was like an acronym that meant power saving mode, and it was just like PSM. Oh, this looks kind of nice, So
well, at least
so
got back
totally
to
freaked out the team. Yeah.
That's good. Well, I did play the Xbox One version, and I can report of no major stuff happening here, no major errors, so
Yeah,
I think
good.
everything went completely fine in that direction. So, Mithriel, next one, if you've got one.
Alright, Scary Sounds asks, favorite NPC voice line?
Favorite NPC voice line of any character? I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of every character, I believe.
Voice line of any character.
I'm noticing a real important questions pattern here. This is some...
It's just stuff I never thought about, it's I don't know. I'm partial to Ron Joe Stenja, or Ronnie Joe Stenja, as some Twitch people like to call him.
Yeah, okay. Good one, good pick.
Wait, that's my own. I'm totally biased. But
Hey, you have to be proud of your work. I mean, that's some incredible talent right there. So, I could take the next one. Somebody asked, King Michael, I think. What's your favorite color? Bit of a
What?
normal question.
Ah. I would say like a probably purple or a royal purple. Does it
Okay.
for me. I live in Sacramento, California, so we got the Sacramento Kings, and they were one of their main colors is like a royal purple. So maybe that's part of it.
Purple, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, yeah. Impressive. I'm more kind of a blue kind of guy, but I mean, hey, everybody's got his favorites. Tilby asked, what do you think you've learned about marketing ever since you started working on that department? I don't know if it means like starting at TC or something. I don't know. You can just maybe, I don't know if you've learned anything new or new experiences and stuff.
Well, I got into marketing because as an indie developer, I mean, back when I was working on the Wanderlust series and I worked on Risk of Rain briefly. I did the online coding for that game. You learn as an indie developer that nobody important will pay any attention to you.
Oh.
Pretty much.
That's a wholesome message, guys. Hey.
Yeah, like, well, it's primarily, you know, people when they're in indie games, they think, oh, if I can get the media to cover my game, then I'll make a bunch of money. And it doesn't work that way. The media covers games that are already hits. They don't make games into hits by covering them. So that was something I didn't know this back when I started into marketing. My approach was just to circumvent the traditional media and get people to see the game through live streaming. So I just dove right in late 2013 into Twitch and just became a part of the live streaming community, which are now called influencers by the big companies, the corporations or whatever they call them. They call them influencers. That's their term for them. But I was in there way ahead of the game, and so I think that's primarily why I've been successful in the marketing side, is because I basically predicted this trend that was going to happen years before it occurred.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah, so for indie games, that's where you want to go. You want to go directly to the people. You want to just don't have to go for the media. The media will cover your game if it's successful. It's a inverse correlation, I suppose.
Did that formula apply as well to Whole Knight? So did it only become like covered? I mean, I wasn't there from the beginning, so I don't really know how exactly the whole beginning phase of the game went. I only got into the game way later when MadPat did his like theory video on it. So I'm a bit of a zoomer when it comes to Whole Knight fandom. People who have been in the fandom longer, I don't know, they have told me some whack stories of the beginning, so I don't know how exactly that all went.
Yeah, my approach was exactly that. I went towards live streaming and YouTube and Twitch, and we don't contact the media. I don't reach out to them. I don't rely on them. If you rely on other people, you can be disappointed, so I just choose to rely on myself and the people I can contact directly. So yeah, the media covered the game. It was their choice. We don't tell anybody to cover it or influence anyone that way.
Okay, good. In a whole different direction, next question from Elrond. How extensive is your knowledge of Whole Knight's lore? After that, he says some stuff that you've basically mentioned a few passing remarks on the lore from time to time in the chat or something. So how deep are you into that whole stuff, or are you only a casual lore kind of guy?
I think I'm probably more towards the casual side. I like the lore, and I think I dipped into it more than the majority of players of the game. But
bold, okay.
But I learned, well, I'm saying not majority of super fans, just purely numbers of people who play the game.
Millions, yeah, okay.
Yeah. but and I was involved in the creation of the Wanderer's Journal, and so and also in the translation of the game. I was in charge of that team, so you read a lot of the text, for the game through that. But I would say I'm just a fan like anybody else. I know some things behind the scenes information, but truth be told, what's in the game is what's canon. Like, even if I know why a decision was made with a character or something like that, if it's not explicitly stated in the game, you shouldn't really take it as, like, basically Team Cherry reserves the right to go against our original intentions as long as it hasn't been told explicitly in a title.
Yeah, we had that whole debate like beforehand, before we got into this whole interview stuff, that people were just asking me and Mythiel. He can support my statement in that direction, that people were just asking us stuff like, can you ask Leth, like, I don't know, what is going to happen in Silksong, or what kind of story elements will happen in Silksong, when is Silksong going to come out, how far is Silksong? Of course, I mean, that's obviously the main questions people want to like hear from these types of interviews, but I've got to understand that it wouldn't make sense asking you because you're not allowed to answer them, so
no,
it's kind of impossible. Like, guys, I mean, I appreciate the sentiment of like you're excited for the game and you want to keep the hype going and stuff, and you want to support them, but I mean, he's not going to break contract for you just to like reveal like, oh, maybe it's a little closer to finishing than you assume it's at the moment. So I don't know. Don't ask that, please.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do any spoilers for anybody, and because I would hate if that happened to me as well as a gamer. But exactly, I will say that we watch. I pay attention to the community quite a bit. As some of you will know, if you're really active there, you'll see I'll comment on things that people talked about there'll be days where I don't make a comment in the community, and then I'll just show up and comment on something somebody said 3 days ago. It's because I'll go back and look at what people were saying and try to address things.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, I think the one time when you joined last time in the Hollow Knight main Discord, that you just went back on stuff said about you and your name, then you just called that and just gave your answers. That was pretty cool, must admit. You don't have that for a lot of like people involved in the whole development and stuff. So Mythiel, you got another question, or
sure, I'll do one.
Okay.
I got one from Ravenbane. First of all, he says, yes, Leth. And then, what was your favorite small piece of game design that William and Ari made in Hollow Knight?
An element of the game that was my favorite. Their attention to detail is pretty amazing, and I imagine it comes from I know how they work, and Greg's talked about this, where they'll be doing their thing, and then one of them will say, what if we do this? And then they both stand up and start brainstorming and come up with a crazy idea and flesh it out, and then go and start making it. And I haven't been able to see that firsthand because I haven't got to visit them in the office or been to Australia in my life, really. But one of the details, I don't know if I have a favorite. I think being able to kill people that you're friendly with is pretty compelling. One of the details I remember them talking about early on, this was before I started testing Hollow Knight, was making it to where when you slash a wall, your character gets pushed back a little bit and some rocks come off of it, some debris or whatever it might be, rocks or some smoke or what have you. And that stuff, that stuff it's just a detail that makes the world seem more alive and real. Yeah. And then it can end up having gameplay consequences as well. If you like miss an attack and get pushed back, or you hit an enemy and you get pushed back and fall off a ledge and things like that. So
yeah.
it just adds to the feel of the game. Those are great details.
Yeah, I noticed the tires, the details are quite noticed. Well, a lot from the hardcore fans, from what I noticed. Like, I think Grover mentioned like that you can go through like invisible walls or stuff, or I don't know, breakable walls or something. That really got him giggled up. That was really funny to him. And then Mossbag was so excited about the moss moving on the ground and stuff like that. Got them really fucking excited. That was really got them riled up for the game. And I mean, hey, I have to admit that's pretty impressive. That's something they do a lot, like things moving in the wind and stuff. I wouldn't notice while playing, of course. I mean, I'm not I'm not to like go down and then go really close up to my television and then look at that stuff. I will just probably just rush through it knowing myself. But if you notice it, that's pretty cool. That shows some signs of work, I must admit.
Oh wait, I got one. So this probably this probably happened exactly as I was like theorizing there with how most of these things come about. They just sit there and go, what if we do this? And then it just turns into some other big thing. Mm-hmm. How you can run around and cut all the grass as you're walking around, it kind of keeps you busy. You know, you like slice things in the background, they're all there, mm-hmm. and destroy everything. But then when you go back, it's fixed. And then they probably at some point they probably just were like, what if we make a little guy who's going around fixing it? You know, and then came up with the mender bug. And then came up with his encounter, and then they fleshed out his story and gave him a house, and like it just turned to this. It was like, let's explain why stuff reappears after you cut it down. It's things like that that just kind of blow me away as a game developer, and just when the fans recognize it too, it's like, oh, that's so cool that that they do that.
Yeah, I don't think that's. Other developers that go into that detail is it's not noticed as often. So yeah, that's pretty cool from them, I must admit. What is the next one? Oh yeah, from Buttface Bro 123. Okay, cool nickname. He asked, I know the riddles started off as ways to make up for a lack of news on May 29th and June 12th. But I'm interested in why you have chosen riddles specifically, and if you're interested in doing more things like riddles in the future. I don't know how much of that you can answer, but like, you just decide how much you can tell.
Oh, sure. Well, again, I was paying attention to the community, and I saw everybody was getting hyped up for those dates. Mm-hmm. And then I inadvertently contributed to that hype by saying something like, oh, I guess we'll see on the 29th. And I meant it as, we're going to find out that this is not true. But people took it and ran with it as if I was giving a hint of some impending release. Which, you know, it's hard to know how people are going to take what you say. So now we just elect to say less and less. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's true. I did feel bad that I kind of contributed to that, and basically, I think it was that morning I was watching people, you know, on the community just disappointed, and I don't know. It just was like, I gotta do something for them, and mm-hmm. started thinking of a puzzle. And that first puzzle, I think, was probably the most layered one of all the ones I did. And with the Zote precepts, you know, it was like 3 layers of decryption you had to do. And
yeah, it was pretty hard, I must admit.
Yeah, it took everybody a while. I ended up giving some hints. In hindsight, I wish I wouldn't have given the hints, and it would have just lasted for a week or something. Oh, dear. It might have marketing wise, it might have permeated the internet quite a bit more than it ended up doing. But it wasn't meant to be a marketing thing. It was just me. I was just trying to do something nice for the community, really. I mean, that's BS.
Awesome. That's a good moment. That's definitely a cool moment. Yeah, I mean, I I kind of didn't even get like the first one really. I just saw that something was happening, but I kind of ignored it, and then like as soon as the other ones came, then it was obviously more important. And I remember those days. It was basically the same time, like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. for me, and then I had to like, quickly do something. Mithril was the same basically. We were always pretty fast when it comes to these things because we never really did something. We were like we always thought like contributing, but it was always like way out of our league. Like I'm way shitty with puzzles and stuff, so I just waited till somebody else did it. And then then the whole oh my god, and then they talked about it for hours, and then the next day it was like a dead topic again because everything's been said again. And then we had to wait again. And then, well, that was pretty cool. That was definitely a cool experience, I must admit. You got a question, Mithril, or?
Well, let me expand on that.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So I let Ari and William know what I was up to, and I think William saw it kind of go on some other threads or forums that he visits. Maybe he's on the Reddit or something. And he was like, man, this is pretty cool. And they were like, since we don't have anything happening, there's no E3 show, or we knew we didn't have anything showing up in June. So we were kind of like, let's do some more of these riddles. Are you down for it? I was like, I'll see if I can, and then they asked me to do four weeks in a row of small character reveals, what they considered minor reveals. And
minor? Jesus.
Yeah.
It meant the word.
Of course, that's how everything starts with Team Cherry. It's like, we'll just do this little thing, and then it turns into this big thing. I think it's...
Yeah, this
is how it goes.
Yeah. Indeed. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I'll take one from Lissa if that's no problem for you, Mithril. Have you worked in a position like this before, and is it intimidating to have such a large audience to maybe not cater to but deal with?
I think I haven't really done the marketing stuff. I just something was kind of a necessity as an indie developer. I had to expand my skills, my sphere of knowledge. And so, I mean, that's indie gaming in general, is you wear a lot of different hats, as the phrase they say. Like you'll be a designer one instant, then a coder, and then you'll do a little bit of art to help the artist, and then when you launch the game, you're doing a little bit of marketing, although nobody's any good at it. And I always wanted to be in a more producer role, but that's a bad word. So I'll call myself like a publishing consultant and start reaching out to teams and basically tell them, if you don't want to go with a publisher, I'll do everything a publisher will do for you, and I'll just join your team, and you don't have to market yourself as a Gearbox game or a Activision game. You're just self-published, but you have me on your team. But I don't really seek the spotlight or anything like that. But I have experience in Twitch and live streaming in front of thousands of people. So it's like, I guess I got used to sort of a minor spotlight through that, and now the community's, I don't feel like I deal with the community. It's like to be honest, or not honest, but to be frank, I don't think indie games should do community management. I think it takes away from what they should be doing, and that's focus on making a good game, because that's where the community is there for. Like, and it's a bonus if you guys get to know the developers, but there'll be time for that. If there's time for that, it can happen, and why force it? It doesn't need to be fake. It can be real. If you meet them at the convention, you say hello, you get to know them, or you have someone like me who who casually pays attention to what's going on in the community, and I try to respond to it, but we're not out there trying to manipulate people or anything like that. It's just the community takes care of itself, and we're happy with how things have went, so why would we change anything?
I mean, aside a few people who are very annoying in their like thirst for like information and stuff, otherwise people have been pretty cool about all of this stuff, and I think you guys are handling it very well. That like the developers, as long as they don't put too much pressure on themselves, like I don't want them to have like no free time at all. Like they can take all the time they need, in my opinion. I don't know how other people might think, but for me, they can like take all the time they need. I am patient as a bee. I think you guys are handling it very well. That like you can just talk to you guys and stuff. That you're very free about that open door policy, I would say, and I think that's pretty cool. That's I mean, it shows that you've even appeared on this show, so I guess we can thank you guys for being cool guys to talk with. So that's a thumbs up from me. Yeah.
Yeah, we may not be available at all times, but we should be approachable at least. And so when people like you guys, I watched how you were into the riddles, and I saw your YouTube videos as well, because I look at the community, and I also look for the latest videos popping up related to Silksong on Hollow Knight.
Even the Russian ones?
The Russian one? Yeah, there's Russian ones too. Yeah.
It's always Russian ones. I've noticed that a lot.
I skipped those, but I noticed your stuff, and so when you asked if I would pop on your show, I'm like, yeah, of course. It's like, why not?
That's cool. Okay. Well, I will do. I don't know if we can ask that one.
You can ask it, but I might not answer.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, well, whatever. A Greek asked, did Nintendo say Silksong is coming soon to build hype for the game early, or was this a marketing tactic?
I don't know what they did what that was in the treehouse. I mean, what they said, that was their deal. That we weren't a part of that.
We probably need a Nintendo developer or like one of the guys from the treehouse in here.
Yeah. You could probably ask Katie, but I don't even know if she knows. Sometimes there's no script.
Mm-hmm.
You just say, like me being on this show, we kind of have a direction we're going with some questions and answers, but I didn't come prepared with notes or anything like that. So I could say something that isn't quite representative, or people might think it means something, but
good disclaimer. That's good. Yeah.
Off the cuff statements are difficult to manage.
Yeah. People tend to take that's kind of like how Team Cherry has trained this community to look into dialogue very much, to like figure out stuff, and so people take words very seriously in this community, like very specific words. They take them quite on the nose, so always have to watch out for what you're saying in this community.
Well, we're very aware of this, and I think it's important to not mislead your fans if you can avoid it. Mm-hmm. And managing the expectations of the fan base is a big part of marketing an indie game. And that goes both from how you format your store page to what you say in interviews. But we don't want to have to manage what you guys think or say or do, and it wouldn't be right for us to do that. But of course we're going to take advantage of opportunities if they present themselves, where the fans say something cool that we didn't think of, or if there is a controversy occurring and it's making people talk about our game. Do we want to necessarily shut the conversation down? I mean, I tend to lead towards no. Let people get upset about it, or let people fight about it, argue about it, whatever, because that means they're talking about us.
Is there like a specific example you have for that, or is that just like something general that came to your mind?
Well, like say the June 12th date.
Okay, yeah.
So that that was a big mess. And you would think a PR guy would want to put out the fire, quote unquote. And would that involve me coming out and saying that's just a placeholder date and it is not the release date? Oh well, no, I'm not going to do that because if everyone's freaking out about the date, remember this is why I felt bad because I contributed to sort of the happenings of early June this year, or late May and early June. Yeah, by not clarifying things, but that's something at the time, I think it was like late November or something when Steam popped that date up, and I woke up in the morning and saw a bunch of messages, people freaking out, and I was like, okay, well, all I'm gonna tell people is this is a mistake, and this is, don't think of anything from this date, and
Wise decision.
And then just deal with it later. The best
if you're
way I could.
lying, because it's obviously for 2021 and not 2020. We've got it figured out now. Frax asked, enough of the Silksong questions. Okay, I mean we only asked one, but okay. Can Leth clear up what the best Oreo truly is? He's always talking about them.
My favorite's the double stuff.
Double
Stuff. Yeah, I did buy the mega stuff recently. I wanted to try it, and it was not as the ratio of cream to cookie was just off. So I can't go back to the normal Oreo, and I can't do the mega stuff. So double stuff is my go-to. Although I also really like the thin mint. There's an Oreo thin.
Okay.
There's Oreo thins. I guess they're less calories or something. I don't care about that. I just wanted something. I was like, the mint one, I tried the mint regular and it was too much mint. So then I tried the thin. It was just the right amount. So if you like mint cookies, the Oreo thin, I highly recommend them.
Okay, we're not sponsored, but yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah, it's not a sponsorship.
I mean, if they would be interested, I mean, I wouldn't object. I mean,
right, it's good.
Oreo-themed shirts or something. Hey, let's go for it, guys. I'm open. I'm probably too small to do anything, but sure, whatever. Okay, I don't know. Could you? Okay, I can ask that one again.
If you want, Deep Dog, I can.
Yeah, you take one. You could take one. I'll have to search through mine a bit.
Oh, I definitely deliberately put Oreo in that. What was it? The first the first riddle that I did. That was on purpose. That pretty much.
Okay.
That pretty much it dictated how I was a part of how I was going to make the puzzle go, because I wanted to somehow get Oreo in there.
Cool. Okay, Mithril, you take the next one.
All right. So we have no news about Silksong. So a few talented people have taken to use Photoshop to create what are called Silksong edits. I've made a collab channel to show a few pictures. What do you think of them? They were made by Aluo.
Oh, that guy.
That guy. Okay, that's always good.
Oh no.
No, I think they're cool. They're fun.
As long as people don't stop believing in them, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's. Do you think I would go around the internet telling people they were fake? I probably wouldn't. I'd probably let people argue about it, and I
mean, most of them you can pretty much guess that they're not really real, because sometimes it's just like they took the character and just put them in like, oh look, it's like that character from the old game in like a trailer location. I wonder if they could appear there. Wow.
Yeah.
So real.
I do appreciate that he tries to make it obviously fake.
Mm-hmm.
But we just tend to let things play out, and I mean that's nice for Ari and William. I don't bother them with everything going on, and
No.
outside of the development of Silksong, so I can just go focus on that.
What was your favorite riddle character? Like of the 4 that were revealed.
Oh, well,
Or
Seth.
that you revealed her. Okay. Seth? Okay.
Yeah, no question. Seth was that was really special, and being able to reveal that character and kind of solidify the truth of the rumor that was going around. I genuinely was not aware of Seth when people brought it up, and of course my curiosity got the best of me, and I asked behind the scenes, is this real? And Ari was like, oh yeah, that's real. And so then of course I had to weasel my way out of responding to Seth related questions until the riddle for like another month. It was like 5 weeks of people going, did you ever confirm if Seth was real? And I just would not respond. Change the subject.
Leave them on read. Yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
get that. Yeah, I'm personally a Caravan stan, but I mean that's just me. Well, at least from the whole reveal standpoint and the stuff going on, of course, I think Seth is the most special one of all the characters, which will give him. I just like the design of the free guys, so that's just me. But don't get me wrong, all you Huntress and Grindel fans, you are not forgotten. We truly also appreciate your character designs and your fan drawings of them and stuff. But that's just the way it is, guys. So sorry.
I got logged out, but I got my question again.
Okay.
So what things did you and Team Cherry take into account in order to choose what languages the game would be translated / localized to?
Well, at first it was just availability. I knew someone who spoke French and German, or two people. So I went for that first initially, and then people contacted us about doing translations quite a bit post-release, but we basically looked at our sales charts and looked at which regions were selling the most in spite of not having been translated, and pretty much came up with the list that way. It's like you looked at your top 10 sellers and try to get those languages in.
Oh, okay. Quick and easy. Perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. We still have people requesting other languages, but from a business standpoint, it just doesn't make sense.
Don't worry, all you Hollow Knight players in Laos. Someday you will finally get your hands on that sweet Silksong copy.
If it was as simple as you have a translator just translate the text and then you click a button and it's in, we probably would have tons of languages. But there is actually a lot of work that goes into making sure everything appears correctly in the game, and it is a distraction. So there has to be a cutoff point, unfortunately.
Someday, yeah. We're still holding out. Toby asks, what made you interested on working with TC in the first place? Do you ever wonder where you would be if you hadn't worked with them?
Man, I don't know. At the time when I first saw their game, I was working with Chucklefish as their publishing manager, and Chucklefish was like, "Hey, why don't you see if they need a publisher?" So that was how I first met Ari on a call, was representing Chucklefish and seeing if they'd want to be published by them and work with me. And then I reached out to them about they said they were going to think about it. They had a lot of people contacting them about publishing Hollow Knight. So I reached out to them again, and that was in January when I first contacted them, and I reached out again June or something. Maybe it was July, I'm not sure. And they told me they wanted to self-publish, so then I offered to just join their team.
Mhm.
And they were like, if that's cool with Chucklefish. I was like, oh, I'll ask him. And Chucklefish was fine with it. So I joined the team, and yeah, so like, and then Chucklefish terminated my agreement. So then I just went full time to work with Team Cherry. I mean, that was after I launched Stardew Valley for Chucklefish, so they were plenty busy with that and
Yeah.
wrapping up Starbound. And I figured the writing was on the wall. They were going to cut me loose. So I started reaching out to other indie developers to see if I could join them.
So there might be an alternate timeline where you asked Chucklefish and they said no, and then you just stayed with them for a little bit longer, maybe.
Well, they let me go. They terminated my agreement like in September. So I probably would have reached out to Team Cherry again before they launched. I don't think they let me go because of Team Cherry. It was just they were like, we want to control Stardew Valley. We don't want you on it.
Okay.
Because I wasn't there. They they had their London office, and I was here in the States. And at some point, they decided they just wanted everyone local and
Nothing
among-
personal, kid. Yeah.
well, there was some personal stuff too, but I'm not going to comment on that.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Moving on. Toby asked, what are your plans on the future after you're done working with Team Cherry? Or do you have even any plans, or maybe it's a secret?
Well, I'm working on my own game now. That has nothing to do with Team Cherry. That's part of why I like about my agreement with them. It's as a contractor. I'm not an employee of Team Cherry, so that frees me up to pursue other things, and not feel guilty about it. But as long as they want me to keep working with them, I'll keep working with them. They're a great team, and we work well together. I mean, that's not always easy to find people you work well with.
That's true.
I don't want to take that for granted. I've worked with people who I don't like, but we work well together, and I've worked with people who I do like, but we can't get anything done. So I'm in this rare situation where I like the guys and we work together. We work well together. So it's like, you might as well keep it, let it ride, so they say.
Yeah.
As long as you can.
Bully. That will definitely go onto r/wholesome as soon as this video is done. Matthew, do you want to take the next one, or should I take again?
I do have a question.
Okay,
It's from
perfect.
Scary, who says, how does it feel knowing info, I imagine from Silksong, that nobody else knows? Is it funny to watch people speculate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know.
No, I just was doing that for dramatic effect. Well, we enjoy the speculation. Like I said before, if people are talking, we like that. So it's even better if they're talking about us in a positive way.
Yeah. Goody. Meep asks, we know that Silksong is going to release on PC and Switch, but are there any possible plans, focus on the word possible, to release it on other platforms?
I think we've been pretty clear about that we are focusing on PC and Switch launch, and then then we'll take a look at what's going on with Sony and Microsoft afterwards. I mean, we have a great relationship with both of those companies, so I think both sides want to see something happen. It's just a matter of, do we have the bandwidth to handle another launch, and when would be the right time to do it?
Okay.
I mean, if we're making content for, let's say the game does super well on PC and Switch,
which we will assume, yeah.
Yeah, then you have to balance time porting versus adding new content. You know, or
Yeah.
at least that
I
at
guess
least that
that's fair,
was
yeah.
the issue we had with the first game. Was like we hired a porting studio to help us while we worked on new content for the game, but it wasn't that. I mean, that was the ideal situation, and it just wasn't that simple. We had to work on the port ourselves as well, quite a bit.
Oh, good. Okay, that's small hope for all. I mean, I'm not dependent on either of these platforms, so I'm cool. But yeah, to all you console players, like just get a Switch. But okay, yeah, sure.
Well, we want it to be available to all of the console players. We just can't say, yeah, it's happening. It's,
I mean, just in
yeah.
case, I've still got my Nintendo 64 here, so I mean, the
Yeah.
option is there. Uh, it had to be a small kind of game, but hey, option is possible. Medieval Discord asks, how has your day been?
How's my day been?
Just a normal random question, like on the
Oh,
street.
yeah, it's been good. I was working on my own game project. Before when you messaged me, I was working on a bug. I've been trying to bug like the whole day, and I finally think I've got it worked out. That's why I
Round
was
of
like,
applause.
when you messaged me, you were like, "We're ready," and I was like, "Just a minute," you know.
We didn't want to
If
hurry
I
you. We didn't want to stress you or
yeah,
something.
if I stop this now, I might not be able to fix it. I was on the verge of a breakthrough, but I got it, so I'm feeling pretty good now, and I've been excited to get on this call with you guys. It's
Yeah,
always
that's been the
exciting.
same for us. Yeah, it's. I mean, I was devoid of doing content for last week, or I was basically too lazy and had enough stuff to do. So that gave me a good excuse to just do another one of those sweet update videos where I don't need to put much effort into it and can just say like, hey, I'm doing that one next time. So thanks for watching and goodbye. So thanks. Yeah, that was a good escape from that one.